So it's market bounce day for now. This is a video intraday. So whilst the market's moving, but I think we can be pretty confident it's a green day, right? Across the board, up 1% on average, maybe even a bit more. S&P almost up 1%. I think we'll probably close below this 434.5. But still, this is the bounce zone. I don't know if it's because of this durable goods, home sales, probably with a catalyst, but an attempt to bounce. Let's see how it closes. All about the close at the moment. Things look great, but if we lose half the gains, it looks like a weak bounce. And obviously, it's more about tomorrow than today at this point. Anyway, S&P bounce zone, so you can kind of see that we're retesting resistance to, just not perfectly, but roughly. On the Nasdaq, same sort of thing, right? Look at this candle from yesterday, touches also the high from before, so you could say it is almost, well, it is perfect, isn't it? Support at prior resistance. So it also, there's a way for the technicals to coincide with news. It's always pretty impressive. But here, Dow Jones flushed a little bit the area I thought was support, but that's okay. It's influenced by the S&P and the Nasdaq, and you can see yesterday's sort of doji. So today isn't the most shocking reversal day. Strong. Well, we're only up 0.5%, but for the Dow Jones, that's okay. At the moment, we're at high of day, so looking very good. And the Russell is doing okay too. So look at that. Actually, that's 1.5%. That's the strongest market, bouncing from this little tram lines area, this 180, 1790, let's say 180 to 181.5-ish roughly. So these two tram lines are identified as support. So yeah, this one also support just where prior resistance was. So, and right now it's up quite strong. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens at the close. But for now, strong market. Question is, will the market go all the way back up to its highs, from recent days ago? So 189-ish, let's say, for the Russell. Dow Jones was asking a lot, 34,600-ish. Nasdaq all the way up here, 373. I don't think so. S&P 444. If we fail, and I think we will, because you really are asking a lot. I mean, Nvidia, these tech stocks really led the way up, and I think they're exhausted. The Nvidia, I'm still short, by the way. I covered a little bit nicely yesterday, 401 and 405. 401 was basically the bottom. So I got that one nicely. 401.01 was my cover. Very proud of that. But point is, I think Nvidia and some other tech stocks are too exhausted to make another move all the way back up. And for that reason, and fundamentally, I think they'll fail. If we do try and go back up for a new high, and if we fail, which I think will happen, then if we flush the recent low put in yesterday, we start to test ascending. So this could be the top, right? What we've just had a few days ago. Just look at all of the charts, We fail here, then we start to test this zone again. Obviously, I'm talking about yesterday's low. It's all about yesterday's low. So, let it do its thing. Let it see if it rallies. And if it fails, then bam, lose this neckline and down we go. And then we start to interfere with the ascending support on the Nasdaq, on the S&P, and these are the strong ones. On the Dow Jones, I haven't put in the ascending, but it's the same thing. Let's see if we rally and then we fail. Bam, we take out yesterday's low. I can move this anyway, and then straight away ascending support. And then things get interesting because that's the weakest chart pattern. And if we start to flush that, the whole bull mania medium term should disappear. Russell 2000, I'm not going to bother with the ascending. I'll just work off the others. This is the weakest one. So although it's having a nice day today, once all those three lose their ascending support, down we go very quickly, and we're always 1 or 2 weeks away from new all-time bear market lows in the Russell. Okay, banks. Yeah, okay, they're having a decent day, up 1.5%, 2% on average, 2% for the more regional banks, but they didn't really rally too much. XLF, yeah, just like all the others, let's see if we get all the way up here. We probably won't, and if we fail, bam, straight back to its ascending support, and that's going to look a horribly weak chart. KBE, I forgot to take out this, but yeah, same thing. So let's see if we rally. If we fail this, straight back down. This looks very sort of naturistic, but yeah, same thing. KRE, absolutely the same chart anyway. We rally, we fail. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near actually 45-ish. We'll just rally a little bit. And obviously the ones that have been pounded the most will move up the most. So the KRE is up the most, just like the Russell is. But, you know, roll over and straight to the lows, 35 zone. Wow, that'll scare people. Okay, that's the market. Strong day, not impressed. Still think we're going to go lower. Let's look at interest rates. They're up. Look at that. It popped its head up to a new high. Let's see where it closes. I'm looking for a 5.3 close. Could happen today. Could happen. I mean, look, it's good news, right? So that means the rate increases continue. You know, so that's probably why rates are up. It's good news. So the Fed rate hikes continue. You know, they certainly don't get reversed. It's not an excuse to reverse the cut rates when you have good news, the good market news like durable goods and new home sales. So, or whatever, it doesn't really matter, news or no news. They slowly want to creep up, sideways to up. So 1 year, let's see where it finishes. 5.3 for me is key for me. Look at this, nice, wow. 2 year, nice hammer there at high of day. Looks like it wants to run to 5. The 5 year, yeah, nice and strong today. 10 year, nice and strong. Obviously, it gets weaker the further out we go. 30 year, yeah, maybe it's got a little descending line to take out of soon, but that's the weakest one. And it's more inversion in the yield curve, so it's more recession proof. So, you know, is the bond market right or the stock market? I think the bond market is right. And you know, the stock market, the rally is incredible, but also you got to remember there's a lot of inflation priced in my opinion, and rate cuts will happen, but maybe that's what the stock market's priced in, looking ahead several months. So interest rates up, sideways up. Let's look at the dollar, which was down, is currently down. I still think 102 will hold. I don't see why all of a sudden the dollar will go down to 10, basically the lows, 101, 100.8. I think we're just going to grind sideways. This is still more sideways action. I still think it's a bit too soon to rally up, you know, 4 or 5 candles and then all the way back up. It's just too soon. It's not just price, it's also time to take into account. And I just feel like you need a few more trading days. Okay, and then now, you know, like mid-July, you can start to make a bit more of a move. So maybe we need another week, week and a half, and then you can start to make a more decisive either attack to 104, 104.5 to then break out of this descending, or move back down to 101. And then, oh my God, triple flush, down we go to a whole new, you know, 97-ish level. We might stop off intraday 99, whatever. But you know, flushing 100.8, closing below 100.8 will be massive. But I still think this is just sideways action in dollar. All right, moving along to commodities. Copper. So obviously the dollar's down and you've got commodities down. Not the best look. Market's up. So honestly, copper with the market up and the dollar down, what excuse does it have really to be down? It's not down much, but still you'd expect it green. So not that strong. It's hard, really, copper's been one of the hardest charts to call. I still think, yeah, you know, ascending line should be support. Also, you can see these candles down here, 3.73, likes that area. So maybe that'll hold. So far, we visited 3.75. It's pretty much the same thing. Maybe we're trying to curl and then go back up, but not impressed with copper. Natural gas, okay, it's down. It's had a crazy move. I still think we're going to 3 and then squeezing. That's what I think. I also think that natural gas doesn't care much about the stock market, the dollar. It's working on its own sort of, you know, influences, chart pattern mainly, I think, at this point. But maybe we're just retracing back to breakout, which is pretty much, let's say, 2.74-ish, 2.7, 2.8. So maybe we just go a little low and then we curl and then bam, up to 3, a little retracement and then squeeze from 3. Natural gas down a little bit, but not at all worried. Okay, oil. Now, oil being down 2% is something. You know, if it's down 0.5%, it's irrelevant, but down 2% is something. The dollar's down, so that's not great. It should help oil, if anything. The market's down, and oil tends to move with the market. So the market's up, and oil tends to move with the market. So again, a bit like copper, oil should be up. just on the influence of the dollar and the market. You know, it's got the two helping hands not helping, so it's weak. And then technically, I mean, it looks, you know, when it goes down here, it tends to have a nice move up. But look, it's just lower highs. It's not lower lows. It has very strong support around 67. But, you know, that's not bullish. And then all of a sudden it has a big, strong day. And then I say, okay, it's strong again. It's pretty frustrating. But overall, right now, that's not bullish. No way. And what about the close? What happens if we, what happens when, and I am going to say when the market drops or the dollar starts to move? Oil just looks like it really wants to flush, close below 60, 64, and then flush. Strange, actually. You'd expect it to be green today, so very weak. Oil very weak, definitely. It could soon be at a bit of a flush point, to be honest. Uranium down despite the market being up, despite dollar being down. That's also pretty weak, but look, it's had a crazy move. It's retracing, and either it retraces to this descending or it retraces to the horizontal. It's pretty much done that, or it's doing that. And you could even say that the horizontal resistance and therefore now support can go all the way down to here, because these tails are not. But I mean, still, 20, let's say 21-ish, give or take a few cents, should be support. So yeah, I forgive it. It's a bit like natural gas. It had a big move. You can understand a retracement. Although uranium, unlike natural gas, does get influenced by the dollar and the markets a bit more. So, but still the market's up, so uranium shouldn't be down. And the dollar's down, so uranium shouldn't be down. So uranium a bit weak today, all things considered, but it's had a big move and a retracement is normal. So if I was a bull, I wouldn't be concerned. I'd be a bit annoyed, but not concerned. And any dip below, below 21, significantly below 21 is a buy. And actually, maybe I should just finally buy it if it gets to anywhere near 20, especially below. So uranium, slightly weak, but nothing too crazy. Okay, gold and silver. First of all, gold is down, silver is up. That's rare. Gold being down half percent, silver being up 0.5%. It's not very very rare, but still, it's not your standard pattern. For me, gold remains weak. And think about it, dollar's down, right? Dollar's down, so gold should be up, but market's up. And to be honest, gold overall is working inverse to the markets ever since the banking crisis, ever since pretty much March. But does this chart pattern look bullish? No. Obviously, it's just supposed to buy when things look bad, but I just don't think it's that kind of bad. I think it needs to flush 1900. What I said before, if the market drops, and I think it will pretty soon, does gold go up? I mean, it probably will a little bit, but I just feel like it wants to flush 1900 no matter what. And it probably would be a healthy flush, like a flush and then a strong buy, and then you got a bit of a hammer, and then we're reversing. And then you can start, putting in your little descending lines or whatever, like this. I just don't think it's I don't think it's ready to rally yet. Now silver is up, lost a bit of its high of day here, but it's there's expected a bit of resistance around here too. Yeah, you can see this price support here of 23.2-ish. Obviously, this day we closed below it, and then we flushed it. Now, I think you could call that a little bit of resistance around there. But I'm not going to put it in yet. I think it's more dependent on gold, actually. But I'm a bit surprised silver's up. And gold, I just think it needs to flush. It just needs to flush. So wait till the dollar goes up. I still think the dollar will move up. It'll go sideways. If gold is down with the dollar down, then imagine dollar is just a little up or just unchanged. Then maybe gold just wants to flush 1900, and that's that. Very close to the low from Friday. 1910, a close below 1910, you're probably guaranteed the next day to flush 1900. And then where do I think we go? Well, I've drawn the line roughly 1880s, mid 1880s, I think. And again, maybe we touch it and rally back up. But gold weak, We'll see if it reacts to the market going down. But for now, it's pretty weak. Not very weak, just a bit weak. Silver a little strong, but I don't think it can, withstand gold flushing 1900. So I think if gold flushes 1900, silver goes all the way back down to its lows. And 22, maybe 22 is support. But if we do lose 22, then 21.5, very strong buy, I reckon. This ascending support should be very strong. So it's getting close. The low is getting close. I think we need to flush 1900. And if we do, silver 22 or 21.5. I would love 21.5. I'll just put this in for now. So, okay, that's it. GDX, let's quickly. That's quite weak, I mean, obviously gold is down, but silver's up. So you'd expect maybe GDXJ to be a little up. But look, they're down 2.5%. With the markets being up, they're very weak. Very weak. I mean, underperforming the metal, definitely underperforming the market. So very weak, the miners. And actually, that's what I'm in. Although I've held off buying for some time, so I really don't mind this weakness. Yeah, I think we go all the way back down here, and I still think 1900 gets flushed, so I'm going to hold back from buying until we reach these areas, and I'll be buying just before we hit this area. Remember, I just buy just before, I sell just before too. So very weak. Look, we made a new low, right? We flushed to new lows. At the moment, we are trading below the low of the last couple of trading days. So if we close below, like now, the low of the last trading days, then very, very weak. On the GDX, GDXJ, same thing, trading near low of day. If we close below, the low from Friday, makes it even weaker. And to be honest, this is probably a prelude to what's coming in gold. So maybe we're going to more signal that we're going to flush. So bearish the miners at the moment, weak price action. I'm going to hold off buying anymore. So yeah, that's it. I'm not going to cover Bitcoin because I'm not really interested during regular trading hours. All right, that'll do. Hope you found that useful and good luck.